Hello, callers, and welcome back to Viva Barca. Welcome to another interesting episode where we are going to be discussing on the latest transfer news for FC Barcelona. We start with Turkish sensation Arda Guler. Of course, a new report is claiming that Barca have made an official offer for the 18-year-old wonderkid. We are going to be discussing more on that as we progress. Secondly, in this episode, talking about Girona defensive midfielder Oriol Romeu, as it have been reported that manager Xavi wants Barca to complete the signing of this 10 million euro midfielder before pre-season starts. We are also going to be discussing on that. So guys, as we get right into the full stories, please, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, endeavor to hit the subscribe button. If you're just coming across the channel for the very first time, you are very welcome. Consider liking the video and please watch it right up to the very end. According to reports from Turkish journalist Ehsan Sujan, Barcelona have made an official proposal to Fenerbahce for the transfer of this Turkish sensation, Arda Guler. However, the deal will not see the youngster arrive in Spain this season. The player has created waves across Europe with his fine performances in recent months. His delicate control of the ball and the ability to deliver decisive passes has drawn comparisons with Lionel Messi, and it is not surprising that Barcelona see him as a target. However, Guler is indecisive over whether he should take the next big step this summer or the next summer. Barcelona cannot offer him an immediate contract given their financial situation and are hence trying to resourcefully utilize the dilemma to sign him for 2024. The report states that the Catalans' proposal involves the player staying at Fenerbahce for another season with a pre-agreement to sign for them. Guler and his entourage will make a final decision later this week after meeting with the Blaugrana sporting director Deco, who already flew to Turkey once this week to hold initial talks. The only downside to the idea, however, arrives if the 18-year-old wonderkid decides to move away from Turkey this summer, given that Real Madrid and AC Milan are also in the race for his signature. Matters would get complicated in such a situation. Earlier today, President Joan Laporta publicly confirmed the club's interest in the Super League star Arda Guler, even stating that it would not affect their financial fair play situation. President Laporta said, "Today, Deco was in Istanbul. La Liga allows us to make operations for next season without impacting on fair play. Arda Guler is a very talented player, and we are trying to close the deal," Laporta said. Needless to say, the coming week will be critical for so many of Barca's transfer operations. However, with Guler's signature not bearing any weight on the existing economic situation, it could progress faster than others. Of course, Arda Guler is still strongly linked to Barca, even though there were some reports earlier this week saying that Barca are not in the race for him because other clubs have given a better offer and they have convinced the player to choose them over Barcelona. But that is not the case at all. That is not the case at all. 2 days ago, new sporting director Deco fled to Turkey to ensure that that operation becomes successful, even though so far we haven't gotten any update from that. But Deco have been doing his job so well, I think, since joining the club as new sporting director. And I think that Laporta sent him there to make things work out. Arda Guler is a player that every big club would like to have him in their ranks. So talented and still only 18 years old. So the idea currently for Barca is, if there's no way to sign him this summer, as Laporta himself have said, La Liga is okay. If Barca can sign players for next season, it won't affect financial fair play. So for Arda Guler's own situation, I think Barca are more inclined to the idea of booking the player for next season. I think that would be fair easy, because even if Arda Guler comes this summer, which maybe registration issues might also play along, um, the midfield is still choked up, isn't it? The midfield is still choked up. In addition to players like Ilkay Gundogan joining the ranks of Pedri, Gavi, Frankie de Jong, Frank Casey, Xavi wants a new defensive midfielder, apart from Arda Guler, which means that there should be no space for him, and you can't keep such a talented youngster on the bench. So Barca themselves know for sure that the best thing that they can do is to they can make an offer for him, then they can keep him there maybe for a loan move, or they just book him there, or they make an arrangement that he will come to Barca permanently from next season onwards, which won't affect the financial fair play situation, as Laporta himself have confirmed in yesterday's speech. Of course, Arda Guler is a player that he's so good, so talented, so skilled, good dribblers. He has eye. He also scores goals. He gives assists, and I think if we can sign this guy, it's gonna be a very very big transfer for us. And when we look at his price currently, or his release clause is 17.5 million, which I think if we can succeed in coming to an agreement with the player and the club, I think it should be a big steal for Barca. For just 17.5 million, we get such a talented youngster. And when we also consider how football nowadays is so much inflated in terms of the fees that teams pay for players, I think getting Arda Güler for just 17 million is something of a big bargain. Then moving on to the next story of discussion. Barcelona will kick off their pre-season campaign in a little over a week, that is from July 10. And according to a fresh report from Gabriel Sanz of Mundo Deportivo, manager Xavi Hernandez wants the club to complete the signing of Oriol Romeu before that date, after rolling out moves for Martin Zubimendi, Joshua Kimmich, and Marcelo Brozovic. Barcelona have settled on Romeo as their option to fill the pivot position left vacant by Sergio Busquets' departure. The 31-year-old is a player familiar with the club's systems and philosophy, having come through the ranks of La Masia. Having returned to Spain after just 10 years in the Premier League, Romeo enjoyed solid season with Girona last season. The 31-year-old is a player with great defensive abilities and is fairly reliable on the ball as well. While he would not necessarily be the tailor-made Busquets replacement Barcelona were looking for, Oro Romeo's experience, familiarity, and the €10 million release clause make him a viable option for the club. There had been talks of Girona being open to further reducing his asking price if a player was introduced or was included in that deal, but as per latest reports, the Catalan side are upset with Barca's flirtations with their midfielder and will demand the release clause be paid in full. Barcelona boss Xavi Hernandez is understood to be keen on bringing Romeo on board, and that too before the pre-season kicks off. It is understandable given that the manager would want the midfielder to have all the time he needs to adapt to his new team and teammates so that he can hit the ground running as soon as the season starts. So guys, with that we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time. Bye bye.